used to be the manager of the Sears Thousand Oaks store in 1989, and Ben on Coffee opened up across the street, for those who've been around a while, on Hillcrest. And we all kept bumping into each other. We formed this coffee group that we continue to meet to this day, at least twice a week. And it's grown and it's contracted from the original group of about 7 of us. I think, Peter, right? The original group was about 7 or 8. But I gotta tell you something. I didn't know about George. I'd been involved with the city. Actually, I was a reserve deputy, and my first watch commander was Dennis Gillette on the old Olson Road Sheriff's Station, the first one that was built after they moved out of that house on Argolis. And the words of wisdom from Dennis was, hey kid, don't get yourself shot. As I was going to patrol, I go, yes sir, because he was a lieutenant at the time. But George was part of our group. He would come by and get coffee. It was kind of a meeting place. And all of a sudden he starts riding his bike. And I'm going, this guy is really a glutton for punishment. He's riding his bike from his house. He lives up by CLU, all the way to Hillcrest. And then one day, I don't know if you all understand this, but George has this thing about Scandinavia, and he comes with a helmet with horns on a bicycle. Now, if any of you have been to Scandinavian days at Cal Lutheran over the years, you've seen George running around with his horned hat, as we would call it. But George, over the years, would always be our intermediary, I can't pronounce it, just getting over a cold, between the city and the county, what's going on in the canal. I've lived in the canal with my wife since we got married in 1974, right? It's 50 years. But we would ask him, what's going on? And George would always ask us for additional help. He was really great at putting the bite on you. Those of you who don't understand that, you're not that good of a friend of his, because if you're a good friend, you get the bite, right, Don? Right, Don? Yeah. So over the years, we've all wanted to make this place better because George was the example of what is really great about this community. It's so great, I grew up in Simi Valley. We used to call it Simi, but the new people call it Simi. But we used to come to the rec center, which we called it, on Dover and Hendricks. And I was one of the group that used to come watch Casey Kasem on a Saturday night. We used to dance to the old groups. They had Sonny and Cher, they had the Sky Saxon in the Seeds, and I could talk about a lot of other groups, but if you're not as old as I am, you don't understand what I'm talking about. But that was kind of my first taste of the Canal Valley, and I thought what a class operation it was, that the Rec and Park District were putting on these events for kids, because there wasn't a lot of things to do in those days, that we could go and not get in trouble and hang out, and it would be a safe environment. And we respected each other, and it just was a really great environment. But that kind of talks about not only the Rec and Park District, but about George and people like Dennis Gillette and all the other people that have come before and are going to come after. The quality of the community that we live in. More importantly, George, you're kind of the rudder. That's what I kind of look at you as. We call him in the group affectionately Mr. Caneo. Because he bleeds Caneo. I mean, that's all he talks about. He talks about the lifestyle, nature, the different groups, the diverse groups that are serviced by this community and its different organizations, and how we really are a family of the Caneo. Oxford Dictionary, and I found this definition when a friend of mine passed away, and it says the definition of a friend. True friend is someone who accepts you unconditionally, helps you to grow, and supports you through tough times, increases your ability to love and respect yourself and others. And I think that's a definition of George, because he is a true gentleman, he's a great friend, and I love you.